When we first started playing, I guess no one expected to go to Worlds at the end of the split, but after we saw that we have the potential to beat every team, we were like pretty sure that we want to go to Worlds and could go.
It is the biggest victory of my career. It's so huge. Going to Worlds is like the top of the top.
Ladies and gentlemen, to the European LCS Championships live from Gamescom in Cologne, Germany. It is time for the fourth game in this best
pocket.
That been banned a few times and is a strong champion according to Alex Ich, as we saw earlier on. If you missed that one, well, you missed the cracker between EG and Gambit. I won't spoil it for you. Make sure you go and watch it over at lollysports.com. We are looking at Kennen and Zyra though.
Very nice of people that are watching.
Well, there might be a few that just tuned in.
You never know. Anyway, of course, the Zyra's been so swinging in these games, completely dominating, and Peke is just sitting on that Ahri because it's worked for him very well. Even in that defeat, he had a very strong game on Ahri. He was creating a lot of action and kills, and it's not surprising that he locked that in.
Oh, Aatrox could follow up. Or, no, well then, okay. So they're seeing the Zyra and they're thinking, we don't want to let them have this combo.
Yeah, they want to keep the combo away from Tabs and Lemon Dogs. But also, after what happened last game, if it gets too late, Lemon Dogs is going to do the Banshee spell thing again. They got to be a little careful for that. That means Fnatic's got to push the pace in this one.
I think it's safe to say Pushu doesn't have too much input in the picks and bans, judging by the way he was sat. He's just in a very relaxed mode is the expression I would use. Looking like Lee Sin, of course, it's been contested. It's another one. Jugglers, they both want it.
It's his fourth Ashe game in a row as well. So he's like, yeah, I know what I'm going to do in this game. I'm going to volley a bunch. I'm going to try to line up my arrows. I'm ready to go. And this also means it's the fourth time Lemon Dogs is playing against it. So Ezreal worked fantastically for them last game. They're playing all the things they had in the last game, aside from Jarvan right now, if they end up going with this Ezreal, because they won. Why wouldn't you?
And after seeing that little glimpse of an Aatrox, they're thinking, we're going to leave Lee Sin open. We're going to see if you do want to take this. So what do you want? And then maybe it's even given Dexter a bit of a thought. They are seeing Sona locked in, so it's the Sona Ashe lane. Whether it's going to work out. Crescendo seemed to do work, although did bait in Fnatic a couple of times. And there is the Aatrox, which I should assume means that Lee Sin will get picked out by Lemon Dogs.
Yeah, that's usually what Dexter has left, unless he decides to do something a little more devious here. I'm not sure. Just wanted to use that word for some reason. There's nothing devious about his next pick.
The devious jungler.
Oh,
Big
he's
scary
blind.
jungler.
What's he got planned?
What's he gonna do? What's he gonna do? Not gonna be able to see where we're going. It is gonna be the exact same team for Lemon Dogs.
Yeah, well, they have Lee Sin instead of Jarvan, because
Yes.
Jarvan was banned away. Last game it was Cyanide who was on Lee Sin, but very, very similar team compositions. That's of the champions that were in last game, there's 8 of them in this game again. Fnatic probably having the most change here. I like the choice of Aatrox and Zac a lot more for Fnatic here, because while they could start fights against Lemon Dogs, they didn't really have much persistent threat in any of those fights. And Aatrox is all about persistent threat in these games, as well as Zac is just able to put out a whole bunch of damage overall.
Well, we saw a similar combo coming out from Evil Genius in game 1. It was the other way round though. Obviously it was Snoopy on Zac in the jungle and Wicked on Aatrox in the top. They could flip it, yeah. There is still 10 seconds to go, but I'm pretty sure that's how it actually will remain. So Soaz this time on Zac has had the very good 2 Yorick games, had a pretty good Malphite game in all honesty. Now he's pulling out yet another tank, but we've seen Soaz actually playing different forms of Zac, and he's discussed it before in interviews that it really depends how he goes in lane. Sometimes you can build a tank, sometimes you can go full ability power and just absolutely nuke people.
Soaz is definitely someone who likes to sneak in damage when possible. Even his Malphite in the last game had the Abyssal Scepter just in there, because at the point it was going fairly well for him. And I really wonder how that Zac is going to fare against Kennen, Soaz versus Zoro0 in front of this giant crowd, because the game has honestly, if we just isolated it, it's kind of swung on how Soaz has done against Zoro0.
There's a lot of fans here, all able to get the autographs of the players. The players are openly, they will happily come and take photos and pictures and sign your shirts, it seems, or sign your all sorts. There's been all sorts of stuff been asked to sign. Don't get me to sign those oranges. They are the hardest, most awkward thing to sign. But that's aside, because we are into the game. It's Fnatic, ladies and gentlemen, as the blue team. They are 2 games up over the Lemon Dogs as the red team, who have only that 1 match, the last match. They had a very similar team comp. They did manage to successfully get the win. We'll see if that translates into yet another. Fnatic looking like they want to be a bit more aggressive this time. It is Lemon Dogs with that Zyra though, which seems to start out the aggression. Yeah,
and Fnatic has to be very careful about where they go in this early game. They're going for a blue buff invade, which is a little counter to the norm. So many teams go for the red buff invade, like Lemon Dogs was doing right now. They get spotted by that ward and just run straight by it. So Fnatic knows where Lemon Dogs is, and instead of counter invading, they're trying to sneak around as well. What could possibly go wrong? Everyone's decided to recall.
What could possibly go wrong with this situation? Yeah, exactly. Fnatic though, looking like they may go for that blue buff invade and are in position, waiting there. Remember, of course, it's 155 when it's going to spawn out here. Oh, there's a lane switch. Zoro0 is going down bottom. He's going to be on his own.
Yeah, but with all those pings that just came from Lemon Dogs up in the top lane, they're guessing positions right now of where Fnatic is, and none of those pings have been where Fnatic actually was. Instead, Fnatic decides to back away, and they of course they couldn't know, but that would have been a great move.
It would have been a great move. They could have gone in, stolen away that blue buff. Not too sure whether they'd have been able to react, but this actually may put Fnatic in a problem now, because Lemon Dogs are going straight towards that blue. They're going to get spotted out by the ward though.
When all is said and done, the wards from Lemon Dogs give more knowledge necessary than the wards from Fnatic. All this is really going to accomplish is Cyanide's going to go to the Lemon Dogs blue buff, and Dexter's going to go to his own red buff after this. Fairly common jungle start.
Straightforward trade. Dexter does take it, doesn't use the smite, and he will clear the actual spawn as well. So he will have the timer for the next one, and Cyanide sure as damn it will rush straight across. Cyanide does have his smite available, so he's just going to go across there. We're not seeing Lemon Dogs Dexter rushing towards this one. So, as you mentioned, straightforward trade.
Yeah. Normal start for these teams. We know the Lemon Dogs like to slow play, and it's going to be very impactful how these 2v1 lanes go this time. Zoro0, the last time he was in a 1v2 situation in game 2, got rushed by Pusha and Yellowstar. That was when Yellowstar had Zyra. Maybe Sona will be a little different. You can tell 0-0 already went back to base once to pick up extra health potions because he knew the lane wasn't going to get to his turret for a while. And already Dexter is worried about helping him because they're actually expecting a Cyanide gank or at least a pressure.
Okay, Cyanide did not clear out that blue buff. He is waiting in that tri-bush to go for that pressure. Hasn't stepped around the corner, so he won't show himself just at the moment, but Dexter is there. Now it's going to be a 3v2. It's a dangerous 3v2 for Fnatic, though. Yeah,
but it's a level 1 cannon. I feel like Cyanide, a little suicidal if he went for a fight. Instead, he's just matching wits with Dexter and saying, yep, we're both in the same place. Let's go away now.
The timings on the blue buff are going to be very different. The charm on Nukeduck does land. Peke going aggressive, but he's actually out of mana, which is why Nukeduck was about to turn that fight around. So as meanwhile in this top lane, playing defensive, sitting on the turret and happily absorbing the damage as Zach.
And it's on Cyanide actually to make some action happen right now since Dexter is in full babysit mode. Oh, wrong way.
Completely missed out on Nukeduck. Ooh, has to force the flash still. Cyanide does take himself a tower hit, but it's safe play nevertheless for Lemondogs.
So even though Cyanide missed completely, he did force Nukeduck into a direction where Xpeke could attack him, and that's what eventually made the flash happen. That's the action that Cyanide wanted to create while Dexter was babysitting, and it means that he should think to make a repeat gank on Nukeduck after he goes back to base and gets his health back.
With the Nukeduck's flash burned out, it seems that Dexter coming around on those raids, thinking of trying to force Peke to use his own flash out there. Of course, he won't have that Spirit Rush available, hasn't hit level 6 just yet, still at level 4. Dexter instead is going to try and pay a visit to bottom.
Yeah, they're really concerned about 0-0's success here, and we saw why. At the end of last game, 0-0 was dominating people with Kennen. His slicing maelstorms were ripping Fnatic apart, but that's a large creep wave to think about going in on. Dexter really just here to give 0-0 a little bit of safety.
Well, 0-0 kind of trotted on down there. It's like, yeah, great. And then Dexter stole with the siege minion. It's like, thanks for the 40 gold lane tax. Mithy's going to get a dive upon. So as he's not going to follow that one up with Cyanide. So straight lane tax from Dexter, almost baited 0-0 in.
Yeah, both of these junglers, they're playing the taxing life right now. They're sitting at home, taking a few jungle camps, and then saying, how's it going in that lane? You want me to help you out a little bit? I'll just take the cannon minion while I'm on my way. And it's not creating many ganks because the 2v1ers, the two, are playing very passively since they recognize the junglers are playing this taxing style where if Tabs or Mithy were actually playing too aggressive, then they could actually get jumped on by Cyanide.
I'm interested whether Dexter actually went at any point to clear out that blue buff. I don't believe he did, so they're not really going to have any clue on the timing on that one at the moment. Well, of course, Dexter did clear out the blue buff of Fnatic, but Fnatic are in trouble in this bottom lane. 0-0 continues the aggression. They may try and turn this one around, and Yellowstar goes a little aggressive on towards 0-0, puts himself in harm's way. Pushu continues, throws out that hawk shot, tries to keep them at bay. Nothing going to come of it, though.
So that was the aggression that actually worked out a little bit and managed to burn both the summoner spells of Yellowstar. And that was honestly because Fnatic decided to get a little counter-aggressive. They tried to kill Dexter as he was coming in, but fighting the Lee Sin this early on in the game, especially in an extended fight with Ashe and Sona, isn't going to work that well. Now, Cyanide tries his hand at a 2v2.
He's going to try and counter. He's got himself in there stealthily towards the tri-bush. Put a ward down actually in that tri-bush and backs off. And, well, seems that, Lemondogs kind of knew he was there, despite the fact, despite the senses tingling, I believe.
Yeah, there has been a lot of jungle sensing so far in this game. Last game, it was, in fact, I gotta think the first game, First Blood happened around 11 minutes. I don't remember the second one. Third game, the laning phase was extremely long with Lemondogs coming out on top of it. This is the long laning phase that's very even. And based on teams that generally take more action, I feel like Fnatic benefits from having these longer laning phases that they aren't losing.
Well, as it is, both mid laners are 6 or beyond, and we can see both with that ultimate, which makes Spirit Rush and Destiny both available. So we'll see whether Nukeduck decides to go aggressive. Hasn't been overly aggressive with those Destinies. Tends to just use it more for the split push later, rather than the aggression at the level 6 when you start hitting the spikes.
Yeah, it definitely feels like Nukeduck tries to play Twisted Fate as a team fight finisher more than as a ganker. Also, Fnatic is one of the best in the business at avoiding Twisted Fate ganks. They're very good at warding his potential teleporting paths, so they always know when he's about to come for ganks.
Lemondogs are going to take advantage of Fnatic backing away from lanes and will pick up themselves their first dragon of the game, just shy of the 8-minute mark. That's going to give them that tiniest of gold leads, but it is only a tiny one because Peke, he got himself a 20 CS difference over Nuke while he'd been leaving the lane. And overall, it's just simply the gold, which is unusual when you think Dexter is actually, Nuke is actually on Twisted Fate, so he's going to have that advantage. We've also had a lane switch.
Yeah, so the 1v2ers get to breathe a little easier and get back to the fighting. But it's actually going to be a lot more even this time because no one was heavily denied on experience. So that means Soaz and Zoro0 might get to brawl out a little bit, knowing Soaz already has his Giant's Belt to Zoro0's Crystal.
Stun on board Soaz, Zoro0 thinking of going aggressive. This time, when they do come in as that lane, Zoro0 is actually much closer to Soaz. Instead, like, he was, 20 CS behind and then just got completely punished. We see Cyanide sneaking in towards his bottom lane. We'll see whether he gets anything down. Mythy does not have a ward, puts it straight on his head. Ideal timing, flashes the arrow. It was a close arrow.
It was rather close because Cyanide would have just comboed that very well. Also, Yellowstar is only level 4 in that lane. He's been getting pushed back very frequently, and I think they were trying to get a quicker level 6 for Pushu as well, so they could pull off that arrow gank. A lot of build-up for not much payoff.
Not a lot of payoff either, so must have took him a while to get that one ready. Tabs continuing his farm. This one, let's go for that Blade of the Rune King once again. And Pushu, well, looking like he's probably going to go the Infinity Edge again. So similar builds from these AD carries. I mean, well, Pushu, he's building, he's done it for the last 3 games running.
Yeah, he's going Infinity Edge. He's had that slight variation, you know, Static Shift twice, Phantom Dancer once, depending on how much wave clear the team needs. It didn't work well last game against Tabs, because Tabs is Blade of the Rune King, and combos with Zyra just wrecked them, specifically when they're near the turret like this, which is where Pushu and Yellowstar have to be as careful as possible.
Nuke Duck, he's gone for a bit more of a passive start, like we saw with Peke instead. Peke yet to go back, which tells me he's going for that Easy Large Rod early on, or mana item. See, he's got 2,850 gold on him. What the hell? He's going to go back and buy straight big item.
Yeah, that's a lot of money right now for Peke. What is he going to turn that into? Because he has a couple choices, right? He's done the Athene's Unholy Grail in previous games.
Flat out.
And decides to go straight forward again. A defensive Ahri build against Twisted Fate, like usual.
Yeah, so he's going the same route as last time. Worked out very well for him, but why not? It wasn't until those batches Veils got stacked out all across Lemondogs, or Bobble Pop, as Kobe kindly referred to it in his analysis. Zoro0 going a little bit aggressive on towards Soaz, but Dexter waiting in the wings. So we're coming up to the 11-minute mark, still not a great deal of aggression, just simply the one single ultimate fired in vain
and the
by
dragon.
Pushu. And the dragon, of course, yeah, let's not discount that one, as we're on the 8-minute mark. It's a slow start this time, Jan, and slow starts tend to benefit Lemondogs in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, they play slow and measured. However, if they don't get too big of a gold advantage, we know the playmaking potential of Fnatic is much greater. Peke, 113 farm with the Unholy Grail and his teleport up, might look to make something happen at some point. Nuke Duck has not went for a defensive build on Twisted Fate, which also gives Peke the potential to maybe aggress him a little bit more. Also, in the top lane where we have Soaz battling against Zoro0, it's another one of those situations where Zoro0 is building for the lane with the Haunting Guys and the Dorans, where again, Soaz is building straight for Sunfire Cape, potentially team fight ability, which last game Soaz was punished for because he got destroyed in the lane. This game, it's a little bit different because he's on Zac and he's laning stronger.
Yeah, he's very much equal in farm, and once he does get out Sunfire Cape, he'll just continue that merry way. We'll see whether Zoro0 is able to get kills in, because, well, Zac is pretty tricky to pin down despite the known fun fact location where his sounds come from. If you missed that one, well, check your Twitter.
And they got the double revive passives as well, necessarily. We haven't talked about that in the grand scheme of the team comp so far, since Lemondogs is rather up front with a lot of their burst. Cannon ulti, Ezreal ultimate, those things flying in. It gives the tank line a little bit more scariness, because especially if you're going all the way through to Nuke Duck, gotta kill him twice.
Let's bounce used on Zoro0 and forced the line in surge away from that one, but didn't do a great deal of damage from that one. That seemed to Bit of a reckless ultimate, honestly, from Soaz.
I feel like he just wanted to do something. He's about 13 minutes into the game here, and he hasn't had a contentious lane. They're farming, pretty much trading. He's getting pushed back a little bit, but not taking much damage. And I think he's trying to test the waters with what he's able to do to 0-0 right now. It turns out it's not that much.
Not a great deal just yet, but I think he'll be fairly happy with the trade. Maybe he's just trying to bait out 0-0 to use that ultimate, because the dragon will be up in a minute. Maybe trying to keep that cooldown down, try and get the ignites dropped off him or something like that. Try and force anything, knowing that he's fairly safe to be able to get away. So as instead, it does seem that they're going to try and set up pink ward on Lemon Dogs, from Lemon Dogs, sorry, spotting out Cyanide. So they know that he's on the red buff at the moment. Blue buffs, we haven't actually followed their trade. They seem to be picked up perfectly fine. I think I just saw Nuke with his blue buff as he backed away. And the mid laners, we are seeing Peke going a little wandering. He has got teleport, by the way, of course. We could go looking, but again, he's another one that doesn't use integration. Both his mid laners are so similar.
And there's a lot of counterattack potential from both of these teams, which is one of the reasons they're kind of happily farming. And if we just kind of think about how these team fights are actually going to play out, Fnatic with Soaz and Cyanide have very powerful tanks right now. They can dive through and put a lot of pressure on a Nuke Duck. Also, Fnatic has to make sure they try to stop this second dragon coming down. Cyanide is very low before this contest, and Dexter has a secure. Ash Arrow flies through, doesn't hit either.
Yeah, the arrow whips on through. Crescendo lands on towards Midi. That's going to be the dark path from Cyanide. Dives in, secures the kill. That's going to be, nearly tried to get the passive. That's going to be the second. Nuke just gets exploited by Peke.
So because the first blood was given to Fnatic, they come out ahead in that trade. Normally you can trade Dragon for 2 kills, but since it was a 14-minute first blood, it comes out ahead for Fnatic. Getting a kill onto Peke is very important as well, and it gives them the potential to push down this turret, since Lemon Dogs is down 2 people.
Not too sure whether they've got the damage to take him down. We'll look at that in a moment, though.
Yeah, this is just Yellow Star making a flash crescendo that works. It gets Mithy down, and then it actually makes Nuke Duck think she can stick around. Again, bullseye by Peke with the charm. Dashes actually so he can get the true damage back from his Orb of Deception, and that just works out great.
And that is a turret, so big advantage picked up there. And it levels out the gold. Pushoot went straight down to the bottom and tried to react, forcing Tabs to back off here, simply not get himself that turret down. So, Fnatic, they have an advantage again. This is a similar situation that Nuke Duck and co had to work their way back from. It's going to be a hard-fought battle for them to do so. It is 2-1 to Fnatic for the #1 place, the champions. Let's not forget there's a bit of money on the line as well.
Yeah, there's the small issue of prizing for these guys, which is actually 50,000 for the first place team, which is a very good prize as they move on for even bigger prize pools at the World Championships right now. So, still playing hard. 100 gold. And Twisted Fate, passive alone, has given him 550 right now.
Ooh, the arrow's going to get sidestepped by Nuke Duck there.
He is really good at that.
Big farm advantage by Peke. 184 CS to 141. That's slowly been developing. Lich Bane has come out early once again from Nuke Duck. Kind of the standard Twisted Fate, I guess you could say. Peke, I feel he's saving up again.
Yeah,
I think he's rushing for a big item. He has, look at that.
2,600 gold. That's a few bits of monies. He'll probably go Deathfire Grasp. That seems to be his favorite second item on Ahri. He still needs to get magic penetration as well. Nuke Duck's favorite item, by the way, is Lich Bane. I think he's built that first in all of his games this set. Sometimes he builds it before boots even.
Well, bottom lane, I'm looking towards Dexter. Making his way through, straight past the ward. He's going to get spotted out by Fnatic. Let's see how they react to this one. Cyanide diverts and starts heading down towards the bottom lane, realizing that there is a potential dive. We are also seeing Nuke Duck close by, picking up blue buff. Destiny is available, so they could try and turn this into a 4v3 advantage, which is why we see Peke now starting to react. He's heading down.
Exactly, and even if he doesn't react fully, he has his teleport. Nuke Duck has to worry about the lane that is getting mercilessly pushed in with minions in the mid lane. Peke, even though he hasn't directly killed Nuke Duck in lane, he did off in the blue buff, is winning this matchup once again on Ahri. It's why he tunnels into that pick so readily, because he has so much success on it.
And the fact that he went back and got that Deathfire
even
grasp
more powerful
means he's going to surely be looking for those kills. We saw how much he snowballed those kills and went until that Lance's Veils are available. And that's a big, big investment the Lemondogs had to put down, and it wasn't until around the 50-minute mark that they managed to successfully get them down and shut him down. So Fnatic maybe going to be looking at that last game thinking, you know, we were doing fine. It wasn't until that really happened. We just need to finish quicker.
Exactly. They recognize when they were being aggressive in games 1 and 2, they absolutely took it home. When Pushu was having those amazing scores on Ashe, I mean, keep in mind, he's still playing in a bit of a weird situation. He's qualified his team for Worlds here, but we all know, really, that Reckless is sitting in the wings, and this is another one of those let's have fun ults, I think, for Soaz, unless he's getting a bit more damage on Zoro Zero this time.
Well, Soaz wanted to bounce, and Zoro Zero was fine with that. Just goes back to his towers. All right, I give up. I'll just walk back here. You're not going to kill me. You're just going to annoy me. As it is, as I believe Quickshot once mentioned, just about sending a message by Soaz there. And this is my lane. And he is actually ahead in farm over Kennen, which is impressive in itself.
Yeah.
Kennen's a very good farmer.
Fnatic Soaz had only had that one bad game this series when he picked Malphite into Zoro Zero's Kennen. The other 2 games where Soaz played Yorick, he was dominating the laning phase. He is incredibly talented. That's why he's the European all-star top laner. And specifically because he hasn't even itemized against Zoro Zero. Most Zacs against Kennen would go for a fairly early Spirit Visage, but with a Sunfire Cape, it's actually an aggressive build that's more tailored around dealing with 80 carries later, and he's still just winning with it.
Oh, Cyanide and Pushu wipe out that wave. Oh, I didn't see where the nuke got that one. Didn't see where the gold stacked up, but Fnatic, they've got 4 members pushing towards this mid lane. They're going to see if they can catch someone out. You see that Pushu and Cyanide were trying to creep up around that side, but there is a ward placement there, so Lemondogs will spot it out.
And holy crap, 242 CS for Peke, and a second kill on the Nuke Duck. He's scary right now. Well, this might be why Nuke Duck's been just staying away from him.
This is that D5G doing his work, really. They are putting pressure on towards that middle turret. Tabs nearly getting caught out there. Grasping roots didn't land on Mithy. They're going to try and go aggressive. Tabs does go aggressive. Oh, good damage out. Trisha Barrage came through. Peke had to use his flash to get out of the way of that one. That
was a good escape by Peke after pulling off such... He made that kill look easy on Nuke Deck. It almost got like a golf clap. It's like, oh yeah, good work. Well, it went 100-0 your lane opponent and almost nothing. Oh, the Ashe Arrow helped him out. We didn't catch that on the clip. Well, that makes it a little...
less impressive.
It's a nice arrow.
It was a nice arrow, a very nice arrow indeed. Lemondogs, well, this is dangerous play. We do see Destiny being used. Teleport was instantly replied on. Peke, instead of rushing in towards it, just uses that Destiny to farm.
Yes, and the ultimate from Peke is also back up, which gives Fnatic a huge spike in ability right now. They're actually using this to maybe catch Lemondogs in between the dragon and the middle turret area, or is Lemondogs actually waiting to try and get something? I feel like Mithy is not where he should be.
Mithy is having to flash away from that one. Dexter getting vision of Soaz. Soaz is going to last slingshot across and forces the safeguard. Mithy doing a good job of defending. This is going to be Dragon for Fnatic. They got the first one. They may get the second.
Zyra and Kennen in Dragon fights is very dangerous. Zyra ult doesn't get anything. Pushu finishes off another one, and Fnatic
turns it round. They've managed to get the second. They've already taken the Dragon as well. It's a double for Pushu. Now Nuke Duck's in trouble. He's going to get focused on. That Cyanide's passive pop there. Gives managed to pull out the stun card. Soaz just backs away from that one. Tabs wants to get involved in this fight. He's trying to get around the side. Gets the true shot barrage off. Forces Peke back. We're going to see Soaz. Soaz has gone in on his own. The rest of his team have already disengaged. That could be suicidal by Soaz. He's going to have to try and escape from this one. And he's forced Yellowstar to go down. He may pay for it with his own life. Big, big mistake by Soaz there. Elastic Slingshot does get him away. Oh, Shuriken from Zoro Zero tries to follow through. Had his passive, of course. Not exactly completely clean from Fnatic.
Seemed like a good idea at the time for Soaz to go in, but let's take a look at how this fight started once again. Peke bursts down Mithy with the Ashe Arrow, gets him at the end, and then Dexter was kind of caught in the side. Look at that max range charm hitting him as well. And at this point, it was just chasing for Fnatic. They tried to go down. Cyanide gets his passive popped, and Fnatic had picked up the Dragon plus a couple kills from that one.
So, it's 5-1 to Fnatic. They're leading by just 2,000 gold. It's not a big deal. 2-2 in turrets. Lemondogs far from out of this game. You see a these large drop being picked up by Nuke Duck, trying to continue getting that damage going. Tabs is starting to be a problem, I feel. Oh, Nuke Duck completely caught out. Peke burns him down again.
And Peke's when even with the Athene's Unholy Grail, more aggressive than he had in previous games. He went Sorcerer Shoes instead of Mercury Treads, whereas Nuke Ducks went for the defensive TF with the Mercury Treads right there. It's not helping, by the way. Peke is just cleaning him up. Even though Twisted Fate has generated nearly 1,000 gold with his loaded dice passive, Peke is still ahead of him. 274 farm, 23 minutes in right here. 9,700 gold. And he's gonna be able to buy another big item soon. I'm sure Death Cap is next.
Fnatic is starting to do what they do best, and that's Peke off on his own, split pushing while the rest of the team do that 4-man invade. They're going to take away the blue buff as well. That's going to be given across towards Bushu. Now Arrow has been vital in engaging these fights and creating those opportunities. We saw the one land on Nuke Duck earlier on. He's 0-3-1 by the way so far. And again, it seems to be Peke that's winning out the opening exchanges.
Yeah, Peke, this game, along with Pushu, both of these guys have been doing amazingly for Fnatic throughout these playoffs, and specifically in this series. Ash Arrows have set up a lot of Peke's ability to get ahead in this game, as well as just Pushu forcing Lemon Dogs into some strange picks and Banshee's Veils in all the games. Like, honestly, the only game Fnatic beat against Lemon Dogs, Lemon Dogs won against Fnatic, was because the whole team had to beat Banshee's Veils, because those Ash Arrows have been so clutch in initiating proper team fights.
Peke is actually closing in very quickly onto 300 farm. Along with those 302, he's got a big gold advantage built up over Nuke Ducks, which is equating to those items. You can see yet another Needlessly Large Rod being added to his collection. So that's going to be the Rabadons or even the Zhonya's. I believe it'll probably be a Rabadons that will follow through here. Lemon Dogs, well, they've been in this situation 3 games already. They kind of figured it out in the last one though. Not too sure whether Fnatic are going to allow them to do it this time.
Yeah, Fnatic does not want to give up a comeback. They're already up 2-0, as you said. And they're a team that generally knows how to close. Like, when Lot is on the line, Fnatic generally performs. That one didn't.
It didn't hit. Destiny is created as well. They're going to go in for this one, I feel. Peke already making a move. Teleport not yet available, but it will be shortly. But Zoro wasn't with them either.
And this is the crazy thing. Peke wasn't even close as he walked over that ward, and Lemon Dogs pinged him. They were scared enough that Peke could have came in at the end of the fight. They said, no way, we're not dealing with that guy. 300 minion kills right before 25 minutes for him. An absurd clip.
Absurd amount of minions, and that's going to be True Shot. It's going to try and wipe out that wave, but the tower continues to take the damage. Cyanide front loads. Takes that. He's quite tanky right now. That is going to be a inner turret going down, the middle inner turret, the first one of the game. Nuke Duck comes across, but the rest of Fnatic are heading in his direction.
4 turrets to 2, and they want more. Nuke Duck gets, I thought Soaz was going to go on that one, but there are no minions. Fnatic knows they can take this one a little bit slow. Right now, Lemon Dogs doesn't have their full team defending. We've seen so many teams try to hold at these outer turrets and get dove. There is a large gap between the inner turret and the inhibitor turret, and Peke wants to come around the back potentially and dive. Ash Arrow is almost off cooldown. Once they clear the minions, they might try to Ash Arrow in to get a fight.
Well, then Lemon Dogs setting up the siege.
It might come right now.
Oh, look at the charm, that's on towards Mithy. Mithy gets your drop straight away. Soaz jumps in, Let's Bounce gets popped. The rest of his team not really on the same wavelength. It simply keeps them at bay. And that's going to be another inner turret picked up by Fnatic.
Peke and Pushu are just in such sync right now. Either one of those combos would have worked. Ash Arrow to Charm or Charm to Ash Arrow. If one lands, the other hits. The Charm is lower cooldown, so as long as Peke can safely throw those out and go fishing, he's going to catch one eventually. So
Fnatic all go back to buy. Continue to pick up their fat stacks. They got themselves 2 inner turrets on that push alone.
Huge. Pushu went for the Phantom Dancer this time. You know, he's got to mix things up every once in a while on his Ash games.
Keep you guys guessing.
Zoro-Zero's mixing things up as well. His 4th Kennen game right now. Abyssal Scepter and a Haunted Guys. He's going to hopefully try and catch Peke in some type of stun and just blow him up, because both the mages here on Lemon Dogs are just going full on damage, it seems, aside from the Mercury Treads that have been put on Nuke Duck. They still have the turret pushing potential if they could find the opportunity. And actually, this could be a decent global gold opportunity for them. Peke up top with teleport. Scratch what I just said. This is a terrible opportunity for Lemon Dogs. Peke would come in and clean house.
Yeah, he doesn't want to go for this one. The arrow is not available yet, but Crescendo absolutely is. Dexter's in the Baron pit right now. Cyanide looking to go in there. Mithy trying to throw out those grasping roots. Forces himself to get that ward, which got spotted out very early on there. They managed to get enough hits on it. Lemondogs are in a precarious position, and while this is all happening, let's not forget Peke's continued to split push top.
And Peke's going to try and find Nuke Duck in the jungle somewhere here. He's hiding behind a brush, and Nuke Duck is very worried about where he's going to go. There's 2 games of cat and mouse going on right now. One at Dragon, one at top.
See whether Peke, with that new Rabadon Death Cap, manages to win it out. The charm landed straight in there. D5G4 through. There's so much damage coming out from Peke. The stun card only just landed. There's going to be arrow. It lands on towards Zoro Zero. Let's Bounce gets going, and it's going to be Fnatic that absolutely melt through Lemondogs. Lemondogs are dropping like flies. It was a cat and mouse game, and it's Lemondogs that almost certainly went wrong there. 0 for 3.
Fnatic just pounced on them across the map. Peke, bullseye with the charm. Puzu, in sync, bullseye with the Ash Arrow. They get 3 kills here. Let's watch the top kill again. As that happened, they're just like, we got one, let's go for another. You know, Ezreal gets out, Zoro Zero does not, and Dexter gets caught in the same AoE disaster that Fnatic put down on them, and at that point, Lemondogs just had to turn tail and run away.
Stranglethorns, it was a good position, but frankly, everything was already there, and this is going to be a free, well, it's not free Baron, it's a hard-worked Baron. They managed to pick up 3 kills, so it's a hard-earned Baron, but nevertheless, it's 10-1 for Fnatic. That is a big, big goal lead right now, just coming up to the 30-minute mark. Amazing stuff from Fnatic in this game 3. 4.
Yeah. Might be their 3rd victory as well. Yes. Close to the sweep, Lemondogs fought back, and now Lemondogs is in one of the most precarious positions they have been all series. There is a bunch of gold, got to track the items that Fnatic's about to build, and neither see large rock, got completed by Peke. That actually puts him at 689 ability power with that Baron buff right now. He's ready to explode people. Last Whisper was completed by Pushu as well. He is just rushing on out, and he caught him for about the 1000th time, dead again.
So Peke, he could have gone across towards the minion wave, spotted out because they got great vision ward in their own jungle, and just went straight across. Nuke Duck 0-5-1 now, not a chance.
No, and he's tried to build aggressively because he knows that Peke is going to kill him almost no matter what. There was no fighting back at that point. Even with the flash, Ahri had a bit more.
So here we go, Fnatic with that Baron buff up, they are in a numbers advantage, and now Peke, he's found on Tabs, but Tabs tries to turn this one around, has to try and dodge out that charm, and the damage is just so strong from Peke, the barrier can't save him. It's another one, that's the inhibitor turrets going down, and Fnatic just driving home their advantage.
And now they can just push on this inhibitor turret because Peke took out 2 himself. By the way, those 2 were probably the most farmed members of Lemondogs, 1 by 1. Let's just take another look at this duel he had with Tabs. It's a skill shot war between Ezreal and Ahri right now. Even though Peke missed a few, so much damage and that's near 700 ability power. Plus the red buff, surprisingly, Peke got in a lot of auto attacks, helped him out. His ult is up again, by the way. If he catches anything, they're going to continue to go.
That charm goes in. Oh,
there you
Dexter
go.
actually going aggressive. Safeguards away. Crazy, crazy stuff. Lemondogs, well, they're trying to fight for this one, that's for sure. They have another minion wave, conga lining its way into the Fnatic. Well, it's going to get wiped out with that true shot, surely, but they've still got the damage down. The turret's going to go down. That's the 2nd inhibitor turret. The arrow goes out, it lands on Dexter, but they don't fall through on it. Instead, they're going to take the inhibitor. That will be 2 inhibitors for Fnatic at the 31-minute mark.
For a second there, I thought Peke was just going to take another kill because he decided to dash near someone, but that is an effectively uncontested inhibitor. We can't even get time to call this.
Well, I think the game called it itself. Peke is legendary. This is going to be the game for Fnatic, and more importantly, this could well be the final. And of course, the #1 seed. Fnatic in full control. Nuke Duck is out of his base. He's trying to keep the waves at bay. Fnatic don't care. They're just going to keep on pushing through. It will be Fnatic taking the victory here in the final. They're going to be going to Los Angeles as the #1 seed, the Spring Split champions and the Summer Split champions. Fnatic, the reigning champions of Europe.
It's got to feel really good for them going into the World Finals here. Just a few weeks ago, they were planning to get into these playoffs. But Fnatic has made such a late season run. They came on top of the 4-team tiebreak at the end of the European playoffs. They 2-0 their semifinal. They nearly 3-0 right here. 3-1 will have to do. They're the numbers.
And it's funny because I spoke to Peke just last night. He was talking about the aggression that they were planning on putting into this matchup. And surely invaded by the glitter. Glitter all across the stadium, all across Gamescom. They're just getting rained on because Peke, you know, he proved why he was the #1 assassin in Europe. He had the highest kills getting into this one. He ended that last game 8-0-2, and we saw him just towards the end there, single-handedly taking down Nuke and Tabs. Tabs actually waited in the bushes to try and initiate that fight, realized we can't win this.
Peke may have gotten a little bit out of control by the end of that game, definitely showing why European mid laners here are the ones to fear. #1 seed Fnatic, well done.
Fantastic stuff, and once again, Soaz actually didn't die. I think there was about 3 games in that where he just didn't die.
Yeah, Soaz played fantastically. I mean, the only reason Peke is able to play games like this is because the rest of the team works for him. Soaz sacrifices so much for that. There were 400 minion kills on Peke, 200 on Soaz. But that's because Soaz is with the team. He abandons his lane. They effectively double Peke's farm by just stop farming with one of their solo laners. And then the rest of the team, Pushu as well, has to initiate with that 4-man squad. They got this down right now, and they're going to try to take it to Worlds.
Well, speaking of Worlds, the debate will rage, and it's going to be down to Fnatic management to make that big decision, because they've made it. They've made it as the #1 seed with Pushu. And now they have Reckless, the new AD carry, waiting in the wings, who himself actually qualified the Copenhagen Wolves in towards the Challenger Series, and they are waiting to play one of those relegation matches.
And this is going to be such an interesting storyline between Pushu and Reckless when we move towards the World Championships. Do you really swap out the substitute AD carry who's been playing so well this season? Once he joined the team and Yellowstar moved to support, Fnatic started ramping up a little bit. And obviously now, being the top team in Europe, something is working well for these guys. And changing that up is a dangerous thing to do. It's going to be a very difficult call for that entire Fnatic team to make.
It is definitely a difficult call. Of course, it's a hard one because Pushu even came into the team knowing this was the situation. But I guess when you're just given that opportunity, you take it. Now it's a very different thing. He's got to the finals. But let's talk about the whole of Fnatic, because overall they played brilliant in this finals. Went 3-1. Lemondogs, honestly, coming into this, looked pretty much unstoppable.
Yeah, Lemondogs seemed like the team to beat. We talked so much about their consistency. They had the most dominating semifinals performance where they were never in any risk of losing that one. But instead, they got beaten by Fnatic because Fnatic made more plays.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic stuff. We're going to send it over towards the main stage, though, where Shox is standing by with the champions.
Thanks very much, D-Man. Right now, it is my huge pleasure to introduce the 2013 European LCS Summer Split champions, Fnatic. A well-deserved applause here for you guys. Pickett, maybe I can start by asking you, what does this mean after you were the spring champions, but becoming the champions now was a tad harder?
This one, it was like 2-3 good teams, and the rest were not that good, so it was easy to make it to top 2. But this season it was really hard. At some point I thought we wouldn't even make it to even top 6. It was scared at some point, like, yeah, every team is really good, and I don't know how it's so close that we might even drop out like other teams did. But in the end we like focus a bit, talk about the picks and bans, and the last 2 weeks we have been playing really good, and we managed to be from being kind of in the middle to be on the top again.
Yeah, really good. And someone can comment on the game versus Lemondogs, because they have been considered the best all split. They ended at the top of the league. It must be a huge boost to beat them here, just know with everything that lies ahead. Go ahead.
Well, yeah, the Lemondogs play really well, but they have like this thing that when they take advantage, they barely throw it. They use to snowball it really good. So what we did against them is just play really safe and try not to make mistakes, not to give free kills, because like you saw the game we get free kills, it was really hard for us to do anything. But we just focus on be equal. As soon as they make a mistake, try to get something, and when we have the advantage, we play like they do. We don't give it up.
Yeah, I'd like to ask Puzu something. Must be very proud of your performance here, because you really stepped it up in this final.
Yeah, the thing is I practiced this almost like a month, but we never played it in LCS, and we finally decided one day to pick it, and we don't want to pick anything else now, so it's going good.
For you personally, just that Ash seems to be, I don't know, you hit every single arrow it seems.
Yeah, I like to initiate fights sometimes, or just arrow from base. Okay, sorry. But yeah, it was good, the combo was good, and everything went well.
Okay. Soaz, what do you think about this last game here? Must be a huge confidence boost for you as well after last week not feeling very well, being very nervous yesterday, and now with everything that lies ahead, how are you going into all of that?
Yeah, I was really nervous the first day before playing EG, because last year we lost against them, and yeah, it's the most important match for us. It means world for us before. This, we didn't really prepare for Lemon Dogs. I don't think they prepare either for us, so we just play the best of 5. But that don't mean they are weaker than us or we are better than them. And yeah.
All right. Cyanide, how has the experience been for you? Of course, been with Fnatic for a very long time. And how much are you looking forward to going to LA and playing on that stage? How much are you looking forward to going to LA and playing on that huge stage?
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to going to LA. Like, there's nothing more I want to do right now.
All right, concise. So maybe Yellow Star, because for you also very important changes for you personally. Very important changes for you personally, changing role and now ending up here. You were at the World Finals with SK last year. How much potential do you think you have with this team?
I think that we now have more chance. I think that we are more chances right now. We feel more confident because last year I believe that we really went for a all-in strategy and it worked, but it doesn't work all the time. So I think right now we're pretty solid and we have maybe chances to go through group stage.
Finally, maybe Peke. You guys are the European champions. All these guys are here. They're supporting you. Anything for the fans?
Well, like yesterday, thanks again for being here, for being so awesome. It's really cool to play in front of a big crowd, much better than with your people.
Guys, one more time, give it up for your European champions, Fnatic! Thank you very much, guys, and congratulations. As for it's time to go back over to Quickshot and Kobe for a look back at the key plays in Fnatic's Game 4 win.
Thank you very much, Shocks, and congratulations to Fnatic once again. I'm going to condense the summary of that fourth game to saying, well played, Peke.
Yeah, well played all of Fnatic, you know, especially with those arrows. Their strategy in this one was, it started out with the Hail Marys. He would throw a couple of them all the way from the base. Some of them would not hit, but when they did hit, bam, that was a kill for Peke.
So the game was once again very slow at the beginning, and it was a game that we said generally when it's slow it does play in favor of Lemon Dogs. It was a lot more even this time than game 3, which Lemon Dogs managed to pull ahead. And it was really, it was just a matter of landing those skill shots, the arrows and the charms that really changed things together. I don't want to drag on too much about the early laning phase because it really did take its time to build up. Peke farmed himself into a ridiculous position very quickly. And let's pull up the very first replay that we have for you. It's actually a fight in and around the Dragon Pit. And once again, it just demonstrates this pick power of those single target CCs.
So this is one thing that Lemon Dogs actually had done very well up to this point was control dragons. They got the first dragon pretty easily, and that was because they timed it with the first blue buff. So the jungler for Fnatic was out of position. This time though, Fnatic's ready and they're gonna jump on him. So let's roll this clip. The first one through here. Oh, this is actually after the dragon. So this clip is pretty much only the end of the one that we wanted to show. Soaz, this is when he was thinking he was gonna go in and everybody else had already left the area. So Soaz, that was pretty much just a bad choice by Soaz. That's not the the actual fight that we want to show. So let's go to the second clip instead then, because I'm sure that we have the
to set the scene for that one. The second clip is really just actually the best summary of the entire game right now.
Yeah.
Pay very close attention to Pekka. He's already 4-0-2, 345 CS at 27 minutes, and he's terrifying.
Yeah, so this, like you said, this is the story of the game right here. It's a two-part clip. Pekka is going to get his solo matchup here up top, and then the rest of the four-man squad is going to do their work at Dragon. This, I'm not sure what NukeDuck's plan was, going to attack Pekka at this point, because at this point he's 0-3, Pekka is 4-0, and Ari usually has to use her ultimate to gain the distance to get close to her target, and then it makes it a little more difficult to land her skill shot, but NukeDuck just walks right into him here. So let's roll this clip forward, and we can see the charm easily landing, allowing Pekka to also get to that Fog of War position, and then easily use his ulti there. There was not much chance for NukeDuck. This signals to the rest of the team, hey, it's time to go. The Zac and the Aatrox both jump on them and get the dual knockups. The dual revive guys also have knockups at their abilities, and they use them to great effect right there. When they have Ashe too. Very good chase potential, not able to get away from that one. Pretty much the same story as the whole series. The picks, very similar the entire way through.
Yeah, in terms of the champion pool, it was actually fairly limited between these 10 players. You know, they played a lot of the same champions over and over and over, and in general, Fnatic just seemed to be able to make the kills and push for the objectives a little bit clearer. In that game, it was all just, it was a low kill game, but my word did Pekka just put on a show, and just a phenomenal Ari performance.
Yeah, and you got to give credit to Pushu also, because he's got him started with those Ashe arrows that are hitting from long distance.
And very well played indeed. Guys, we do need to jump to a very quick break. When we return, we'll name our finals MVP, break down the North American regionals, and set the stage for the Season 3 World Championship. Don't go anywhere. The LCS live from Gamescom. We'll be right back.